Our topic today is about self-efficacy, motivation, etc. And uh, before that, I wanted to share a story which I call a success story, because all those topics which are going to be covered today, they are relevant. They are closely related to this a short presentation which I am going to share with you. You look at this young guy, and it is a success story of this boy. He wasn't born rich. He was raised by a single parent because his mother died when he was just a young kid. And mother didn't have any formal schooling. Father only went to school up to grade 5 and went to very poor neighborhood school. And this boy played all those games which street boys generally play in the villages, and was going to be expelled from school 2 times. And he wasn't even very smart. You can say he had average IQ. You people have a lot of experience, because the judges and other people who are sitting here, maybe watching this presentation, they are well read, and they are selected people. They are among the few. I mean, about top 10% of our population. So with this background, can you predict the future of this boy who went to a very ordinary school, lived in village, family history not so very bright, or you can say well off? So can you predict, or can you say something about the general pattern of such like people who come from this background? What would they do in the future?
I think he might be a good businessman in future.
A good businessman. Anything else?
Businessman, PSP officer, anyone else?
Yeah. So this boy, which is me, I became judge. The magistrate at the age of 25, 24, and then a PSP officer. I joined as and became a district police chief at the age of 30, and then I won Shivering Scholarship for my MBA, and went to Lancaster University. Then, inspired by the professors at Lancaster University, I applied for Fulbright scholarship, and I was in the top 4% of the world in my GRE score. And I won that scholarship for 4 years, and joined University of Pennsylvania, one of the Ivy League university. And I became the first police officer to receive a PhD in criminology, and I focused on terrorism in Pakistan. Uh, and I was the first police officer ever who has a PhD degree in criminology from an Ivy League university. I was offered academic position at American University, Washington, D.C. in their Justice, Law, and Society program, and also was offered 1 year postdoctorate research position at University of Maryland in their START program, that is the study of terrorism and responses to terrorism. And I spent that 1 year there. And then later on, I was selected as full professor in a college in Toronto, and I taught there for 4 years, especially the criminology, criminal justice system, and counterterrorism. Uh, in criminology, Commons, my dissertation was the most favorite for many years, and you can just see the red circle in the lower right corner. It remained the most favorite. Every month, about 200 people they download it and read it, and it is cited in so many publications. I was not only, I mean, outstanding in academics. I was uh, equally good in physical part of training. You can see I was best in horse riding, and uh, I won this firing championship in Germany. Our country remained about 10 years in Canada and USA and the UK for PhD, postdoctorate, and for teaching. Despite all those sidetrackings, I was able to reach the highest rank, that is grade 22, and in Pakistan. And I was educated from highest institutions, and I have seen more than 30 countries. The point I want to make is that how could I achieve everything uh, in terms of academics, in terms of my profession, and even bureaucracy in Pakistan. And I had a dream. I mean, I was motivated. I was inspired by some people, and those people included my professors, especially when I was in the college. I was doing my master's in English literature. So at that time, Professor Zamir Naqvi, he actually inspired me, and I wanted to join the civil service of Pakistan. So the first thing important for achieving any distinctions or rising high in the society and in our own profession is that we should have some we have to make some decision. We should be inspired, and we should work hard, and we should have some motivation. And I showed my determination. I mean, in all times, I was working very hard, and even going for GRE, spending 4 years. Uh, and that is also in a statistical atmosphere where it was not sort of descriptive study. It was you can say empirical study of terrorism in Pakistan. So that was very tough for me, and but it was my determination which kept me going, and I worked hard, and then I believed in my luck because there were so many, you can say, hard circumstances, and I could overcome them. And with all my experience, I have concluded that there is a formula for success, and I call it DHL. D means that you make a decision, and H means that you work hard, and then you believe in your luck. So I have multiple instances in which I say that it was just out of luck that I could achieve that, but hard work was behind it. And so, what are the lessons? That poverty, not so being smart, or nerds, school no good, family problems, teachers not good, no help available, kids, job, etc. These are just the excuses. Otherwise, if you want to make a progress, then you can achieve that progress despite all those difficulties. Then uh, I mean, that formula is there and it works. You need to make a decision, very strong decision that you want to do this, and then you should make a plan, work hard to achieve all those things, and then uh, you should believe in your luck and whatever I mean entities we look towards to for our prayers. And there was a picture here of a young lady. She won gold medal in Olympics, and once she was asked, "How do you uh, work hard for winning these sorts of competitions?" She said, "I focus on what's in my control and leave everything else to my belief." So we should work hard, whatever we can do at our best, then we should uh, believe that somebody is going to help us or some factor of luck is going to play its role. So I say that never ask for less problems, look for more skills and resources, because problems are there to make you successful. And I also say that think like kids. When I say think like kids, it means you can have wild imagination while you are uh, uh, making some decision. I mean, you want to achieve something. So don't restrict yourself. Have bigger aims in life. And then a dream is not what you see when you are sleeping, and dream is what doesn't let you sleep. I mean, have a dream that doesn't let you sleep. I mean, you are so much interested, your feelings are so intense that in every situation, in whatever you have to do, you want to achieve that goal. So if you have such like qualities or you develop in this fashion, you are going to be successful whatever you want to do. And I would at this stage say that take the rank of civil judge as a stepping stone, not as your destination. You can have higher destination, you can have a higher aims, uh, and there are so many ways open, which are going to take at some higher levels. Finally, the formula of becoming successful is very simple. Dream big, think becoming of chief instead of a civil judge, be determined, work hard, and believe in luck. And first practical step for doing this is, and all these things are relevant to our topic today, and that first practical step is uh, that you should remain one day ahead of your class or of your colleagues, what they are doing or what you all are supposed to do in your job. If you can remain one day ahead of them, then it's very definite that you are going to achieve a distinction. You can be distinctive in your approach. And that's very simple. That's just one day. And so the learning outcomes of today's presentation are at the end of this session, the participants will be able to identify self-esteem, self-confidence as important drivers of motivation. These things are related, and if we have self-confidence and we have self-esteem, then our motivation level increases. And we will identify self-esteem and self-confidence as important drivers of motivation and learn how to improve their self-esteem and self-confidence. The main purpose of this presentation is uh, to share some ideas about improvement. And I am sure that the sort of people which are sitting here are the audience of this presentation. They are already well established in their professions and they have shown all these things. So just this is sort of a reminder. It is not that they are not aware of these things, that self-confidence is there, that's why they could cross all those barriers. I mean, they have succeeded to become at least judges, and they are must be looking forward towards their promotions. And they also know their self-esteem and self-confidence, and how these are related together, and then learn how to improve self confidence and learn ways to keep, cultivate, and increase their motivation levels while working in demanding situations in course. Because the sort of pressure now we see in course, it has increased multifold after the lawyers movement. There is a sort of negative impact on the course, and there must be some pressure. And even the workload in the courts is very high. I mean, many cases for one judge to decide, and sometimes they don't even finish the cause list in one day, and those cases are left over and go for the next days. And I can just give one example. There is a small case uh, where uh, uh, a person has died and he has small kids and a wife, and the wife has to go to court again and again to get a guardian certificate from the court, and it has taken more than 1 year that she is not getting the guardian certificate. So maybe it is not, I mean, intentional, but such like things are prevalent in court. It is because the workload is so high. So this is one of the pressures. And then previously, uh, the police officers, they had to face so much of pressure from the public or even the people who come to them for various reasons. But courts were not under pressure from the lawyers community, but nowadays there's a lot of pressure from their side too. So this is one personal value exercise. uh, I would request the participants to choose one of the items, and how do they value, what is their preference out of this. It is just an exercise. It doesn't mean that you will be labeled as such, but your choice, if in actual life, would reflect something about your personal choices and your personality. So there is 5,000 note, there is a national treasury, a rare diamond, book of law, a vintage police car, sugar, bread. So, who chooses what?
आप जैसे reiterate कर लें, choice has to be based on the most valuable item in this list.
Yes, what is most important for them? I mean, they choose at a particular, I mean, time or in a particular situation, what would they choose? For example, right now, or what would be their choice on a permanent basis? What is most important for them? So, because it would reflect something about, it is just a exercise here. So, I mean, some people in some circumstances may even choose bread because that would be their need at that moment. They won't be able to eat, I mean, rupees or notes. So,
Yeah, so why don't we get three volunteers जो अपना share कर लें. यहाँ पे अगर कोई है that hasn't spoken or shared before, what would you choose? Uh, if I must, then I will then go ahead and choose so ताकि आप लोग engage रहें. सितारा कायनात साहिबा, अगर if you would like to share what you would think is the most valuable in what situation, just one, just unmute yourself and share if you can.
I would like to choose a book of law as per my profession, so that I can get more knowledge and make myself enough efficient and enough able to earn money and earn bread for myself and my family as well.
Okay. Anyone else want to share? Madam Fahmida, would you like to share?
Yes, sir. I would also choose a book of law.
Okay, and Wajuhat?
Of course, I am a judge. और मुझे हर वक्त एक किताब की ज़रूरत होती है जो कि कानून की किताब है जहाँ से मुझे गाइडेंस लेनी पड़ती है और मेरा एम भी यही है कि मैं चीज़ों को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से समझूं और उनको अपने प्रैक्टिकली उनको कर सकूं.
Okay, all right, very good. I think Bilgami Saab, you want to also say something?
Yeah, so I would like get the National Treasury so that I can buy all the books.
Okay, all right. I don't know if there's anyone else to share, but Ijaz Saab, please.
yes. So, thank you very much for your choices. And as I earlier stated, that it is just an exercise here. And Book of Law, definitely it is related to the people who are sitting here, and it is so close to their heart. I can just say that people have different preferences for different items, you can say, or different commodities, and that may reflect their taste, that may reflect their priorities or preferences. And we all need, for example, bread, sugar, but just like I believe Bill Gramy sahab said, they would take treasury so they can buy everything else. So yeah, it depends upon your own choice, and it depends upon your own, you can say, need of the hour. So somebody may take bread, sugar, etc. So it is a reflection of your choices at the moment. People may make different choices depending upon their own circumstances. So there are some discussion questions about the nature of self-esteem, motivation, etc. So, what is your understanding of self-esteem? What do you understand in simple words the concept of self-esteem and healthy self-esteem, low self-esteem? Any of the participants?
Anyone would like to comment on that? Please raise your hand.
Self-esteem means to understand someone's own values, capabilities, and to know what actually you are and what you can do. It combines with the self-confidence too. What I understand.
Uh, that's good. That's very, I can say, near the main concept. Any other comment on this? Self-esteem. It is sort of a personal assessment of a person about himself or herself. How do they feel about their own worth? So it is very subjective. It is not very objective, because once I estimate my own self, okay, I am like this. It is not necessary that it is perfect. It is not based on some tests. It is just my own perception. I'm just describing the perception. So this self-esteem is what are my views about myself. So that is self-esteem. Uh, what is low self-esteem and healthy self-esteem? Uh, some people, they have very, I mean, less than real uh, views about themselves. They think that they are good for nothing. That sort of ideas are what we call people entertaining low self-esteem concept about themselves. And sometimes people, for example, narcissists, they would say they are better than everybody else. So that is sort of high self-esteem, or even they are beyond the reality, they are away from the reality. So there may be many psychological tests, or even other people can judge from your behaviors, because your behaviors, your actions, your thinking, they are one indicator. And we understand personalities by different indicators. Otherwise there is no, you can say, purely physical science method of knowing people's personality. These are social sciences, and there are some personality indicators. There are indicators, and we can have some estimates about the personalities of others, about their own perceptions about themselves. So there are so many tests. Uh, do you think you have low, healthy, or excessive self-esteem about yourself? Explain your assessment. Yes.
Madam Snober wants to speak, and Bilgami sir.
Low self-esteem, it may be when things go wrong, or and we start blaming ourselves just because of us. We do not try to understand actually what the cause is, what are the factors. We just started just try blaming ourselves that this is because of us. not the real cause. Mm, And we do not understand actually what we can learn from this situation and what we can do most in this situation. We started thinking uh, in the negative way.
Uh, you are exactly right. I mean, self-esteem is about our own perception about ourselves based on various experiences over lifetime. And as I earlier said, that it is not necessary that we actually are like that. That is not objective sort of our assessment. It is our own views. So exactly that's how we think about our sometime we have very extreme ideas that we are good for nothing and we can't do anything right. But that is actually not the situation. So that is the concept of self-esteem. And discussion question is, what factors in your view contribute to low self-esteem? What are the reasons? What are different factors which make people to think in a certain negative way about uh, themselves? So what do you think are?
I was just going to ask, in fact, this question, so I will go, and then Mr. Burgami also says, but confidence, the lack of confidence.
Yeah, lack
Yeah,
of confidence. There must be some reason for lack of confidence too. So
I don't
I,
know, personal faith. Bilgrami Saab, you want to say something?
yeah, I wanted to add, you know, the views of others. Could they contribute to this? How others perceive you?
I agree with Bill Grami Saab that our views about ourselves are sometimes influenced by our colleagues or the society in general because they are watching us too. And whenever we have some interaction with them, definitely we get some hint from them and we make or change our opinion. So it is not fixed. It is flexible and keeps on changes with the passage of time and with variety of different interactions.
Okay, I think self-esteem depends upon the set of moral values a person sees in the society. If he does not meet out the set of moral values in society, he feels low self-esteem. If he meets out the standard moral values of society, he has a high moral self-esteem.
Any comment on this point of view? Is it related to morality of the society, or there are some other factors too?
I think this is, Mr. Kashif, is in regards with if uh, we we sort of fulfill the requirements of the society, then we are praised. Hence, we our self-esteem goes higher. Is it uh, something like that?
Definitely, our success in the society. I mean, it supports our own ideas. We get some sort of satisfaction and some you can say high place in the society, and that increases our self-esteem. It is an important element of you can say causal factors behind self-esteem. Uh, just like earlier, I said that it is not a very, you can say, sticky concept that the people have self-esteem of the same level all the time. It varies with time and varies with circumstances as well. So that's right. Sometimes when we are successful, we are praised, we get commendation from others, and we become happy. Otherwise, if there is some low time and we feel, I mean, very down, and that syndrome, you can say, or the symptoms can be one indicator of low self-esteem.
Mr. Kashif, uh, and then Miss Fariha.
आई वांट टू से समथिंग ओके एज रास के मोरल वैल्यूज के हवाले से किसी सर ने कहा तो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के हवाले से आज मैं इतना कहना चाहूंगी कि सेल्फ एस्टीम की जो सबसे जो फर्स्ट स्टेप होता है दैट इज टू नो योर ओन एबिलिटीज एंड टू रिएक्ट to with those abilities in certain circumstances, not even in each and every circumstance कि आप कैसा रिएक्ट करते हैं एंड देन रिलाई योरसेल्फ कि आप इस सिचुएशन में ऐसा ही करते हैं देन यू फर्स्ट रिकग्निशन ऑफ योरसेल्फ दैट व्हाट यू आर व्हाट यू डू एंड व्हाट यू कैन डू अगर आप खुद पर समझते हैं कि आप अपनी पर्सनालिटी को समझते हैं देन सर्टेनली ओके आप सिचुएशन को मीट कर सकते हैं वंस आप अपनी एबिलिटीज को नहीं समझेंगे कि आप में क्या एबिलिटीज है किस सिचुएशन पे आपकी फीलिंग्स आपकी बॉडी रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन कैसा रिएक्ट करते हैं देन सिचुएशन को कोप करना या सेल्फ एस्टीम को बरकरार रखना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है
आई थिंक मैडम आप सही कह रही हैं, मगर मेरा कहने का मतलब था कि वो जो बंदा ऐसी सेल्फ स्टीम को अचीव करने के लिए करता है, वो सारी सोसाइटी के जो स्टैंडर्ड मॉरल वैल्यूज़ है उसको देख कर ही करता है। सारी सेल्फ स्टीम डिपेंड करती है सोसाइटी के स्टैंडर्ड मॉरल वैल्यूज़ के ऊपर। ये मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू था।
Let's move on to the next slide. This self-esteem is the term used to describe a person's overall subjective sense of personal worth or value. In other words, self-esteem may be defined as uh, how much you appreciate and like yourself regardless of external circumstances. That's we discussed earlier too. It is our personal thing. It is our personal belief about ourselves, and even external circumstances they don't matter. People sometimes um, for example, I have discussed myself and I said that I am a successful person. That's my own belief about myself. Maybe there are some colleagues or there are some other segments of society who know me, but they would say, no, he is not a successful person. They may have their own views, but I have my own views, and self esteem is what I think about myself. It's not about what the other people think about myself. They may know me or they may not know me, but they may have their own opinions. But self-esteem is my personal thing. I mean, I have my ideas about myself, and that's what I consider as self-esteem. So it is used to describe a person's overall subjective sense of personal worth or value. In other words, self-esteem may be defined as how much you appreciate yourself and regardless of what other people say about yourself. And it is defined by many factors. So many factors co-determine. I mean, it's not just one factor. They all to come together to define your self-esteem. It is self-confidence, feeling of security, how do you identify with other people, your identity, sense of belonging, feeling of competence, how competent you are. It is your feeling that I am competent, and some people would say, no, you are not. So they have their own opinion. So it is about your personal thinking about yourself. So, and there are so many variables which come together and ultimately they define your self-esteem. And there is healthy self-esteem. What do you think is healthy self-esteem? What sort of ideas we would have about ourselves uh, to be labeled that we have a healthy self-esteem? If we avoid uh, rethinking about past negative experiences, that is one you can say indicator of uh, healthy self-esteem. Whatever has something bad has gone in the past. It is not necessary to keep it as an asset and take it with you all the time as a burden. So it is better to forget about it. That is a healthy self-esteem. People make mistakes, and everybody have their own mistakes in life, but those shouldn't bother you later on. And if you believe you are equal to everyone else, and no better and no worse, that is one indicator of healthy self-esteem. And you express your needs. Sometimes people don't express their needs. They are reluctant to tell people well what their requirements are. And in our society generally हम कहते हैं ये बड़ा शरीफ आदमी है, लेकिन it may be because of hesitation, because they don't have the courage to say what they actually need, even from friends. So that is sort of uh, here in terms of healthy self-esteem, it's negative. But in our society, we label it in a different way. It may not be negative, but a positive. That I hesitate to ask for a favor from a friend. It may be positive in circumstances. So uh, they feel confident. If you feel confident all the time, it means you have healthy self-esteem. You have good ideas about yourself. Have a positive outlook on life. If they think that okay, they are working hard and ultimately they are going to achieve their goals, it is a positive way of looking at the world. Not all the time things result into positivity. Maybe the system is delayed or you don't get results in time. But having a positive view, it keeps you healthy, and it is healthy self-esteem. And say no when you want to. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, especially in our society. Uh, for example, my own relatives or my friends, if they come for something and they ask for a favor, uh, I mean, it would be very, very difficult living in this society to deny that favor. And they would, I mean, have a propaganda with them, and they would tell it everybody at various places that okay, we went for a favor and they have refused them. So that is positive thing, healthy self-esteem. If I can't afford that, I should say to them, convince them, okay, it's not in my, I mean, control. So, but in our society is something negative, but saying no is appreciated at many places. And then see your overall strengths and weaknesses and accept them. We are not perfect. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, and it is better for us if we accept. Okay, we are humans, and we have so many things which we have achieved, and there are so many which we missed. But for being missing different things, we can't blame ourselves, because the ultimate result of our effort is determined by not just by us, but the other people who are in the loop as well, who are concerned. Uh, their actions also matter. So it's healthy that um, we accept our shortcomings and accept our positive elements too. So, any comment on this?
Miss Nida wanted to ask something.
So my question is how to maintain high self-esteem if someone is surrounded by negative people all the time and do not get any appreciation for something he considered that he did a great job, but no one acknowledges it. How can he maintain self-esteem?
That's a good question, and that's very relevant because generally it happens. But my question to you is, why should we I mean, worry about to please everybody for doing something. I mean, we don't do that thing to please people. We do because that is our duty, or that is required by the society, and we do it because we are doing something good. So take it in that sense. People, definitely, people are uh, who don't appreciate, or they don't have the sense to appreciate for uh, some favor extended by you or by anybody else in personal relations or even in your job environment. So I mean, it happens, and just accept it that not all people are equal, and they are not. I mean, destined to behave in a particular way. So people have different behaviors. They have different backgrounds. So that's why in the beginning, in the previous slides, that it is not necessary that you say yes to everything people ask from you. You can exercise your choice and okay, refuse if you say though that is not in your favor. If you can extend courtesy, that is, I mean, a good thing on your part, and just be satisfied with that. That you have done a good job today.
Ji, Miss Neelam and then Mr. Kashif. Miss Neelam, please.
जी सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि आपने जो कहा कि फील कॉन्फिडेंट, तो इसमें और ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट होने में क्या फ़र्क है? क्योंकि अगर हम फील कॉन्फिडेंट होते हैं, तो लोग हमें ये प्रिज़्यूम कराते हैं कि हम लोग ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाते हैं, सिर्फ़ खुद ही को देखते हैं और दूसरों को नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं। इस वजह से जो नेगेटिविटी भी आती है हमारे समाज में, सोसाइटी में, दूसरे अदर्स जो हमारे फ्रेंड्स होते हैं या जो जैसे-जैसे हमें वो देखते हैं कि ये तो मैडम तो बड़ी कॉन्फिडेंट है या लोग बड़े कॉन्फिडेंट है, ये तो कहते हैं मुझे सब कुछ आता है, मैं बस नंबर 1 हूँ, ये हूँ। तो लोग इसको नेगेटिव भी तो सोचते हैं ना कि ये ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट होती जा रही है। तो इसके पैरामीटर्स क्या हैं? हमें कौन-सा मतलब के बीच वाला रास्ता अपनाना चाहिए कि लोग हमें थोड़ा ओवर भी ना समझें, जैसे उनके सामने भी हम ये ना फ़ील करवाएँ कि भई हम बहुत ही ज़्यादा ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो गए, और ये भी हो कि हम अपने लाइन के ऊपर चलें, मतलब कि नेगेटिविटी पे भी ना चले जाएँ कि लोग फिर हमें वो करें, डिसएग्री करें हमसे या हमें थोड़ा नीचा दिखाएँ कि आप जो फ़ील करवा रहे हो, वो सही नहीं है। आप इतने कॉन्फिडेंट क्यों होते जा रहे हो? ये मेरा सवाल है।
Uh, Okay, I will admit that it happens, but before I uh, give my own response or frame my own response to this question, I would request the participants if they can, I mean, explain this question and give your own point of view. Uh, would people uh, label you as overconfident if you, I mean, don't extend a favor to them, or uh, I mean, it is okay to say no when it is required to be said no.
Kashif sir, you want to say something?
Actually, the first point is to avoid dwelling upon past negative experiences. Very easy to say this, but usually we do dwell upon past negative experiences in our life because we want to
Yes,
improve
yeah.
ourselves. So it is necessary to dwell upon past negative experiences to improve in the future.
I would say yes. It is possible, and I would also agree with you that it is very, very difficult to forget your negative experiences. They become part of your personality, and they keep on coming back and remind us whenever something bad happens. So it is right. But I mean, it is also possible that we can just put them, forget them, and you can say ignore them as much as possible. And the more good you do, the more better job you do, automatically the negative things they shrink, keep on shrinking. So let them shrink. Not they, you can't get them out of your life or out of your experience, but you can definitely give them less and less importance. That is not your main personality. Your main personality should remain a positive personality. So that's my point of view. So healthy self-esteem comes when we avoid negative experiences, give them less, you can say, importance, and don't repeat those experiences often, and believe you are equal to everybody else, so no better, no worse, and express your needs when you need. Don't hesitate if you have to ask from somebody, and it is your requirement. It is uh, I believe that there are 50-50 chances. If you ask somebody, there are 50% chances that you are going to get it in a positive way. And there are chances. So if I have the choice of to do it or not to do it, I would like to do it. If it when I think about doing it or not to doing it, only if there is some sort of balance in my mind. I mean, there is evidence on both sides. So I would like to do it because it would be a new experience, and possibly I would get my aim in 50% of the situations. So that's my own personal thing, that asking for a favor or going to somebody, uh, it's not a bad thing. Say no when you want to. I mean, if you don't say no, people would tend to, I mean, get a ride over you. So it is always better to say no when you perceive or you believe that it is not something good. I mean, it goes against your own interest, or it is going to damage your reputation, or harm you in any other way. So saying yes at certain places is a good thing, and saying no at certain places is also a good thing. So see your overall strengths and weaknesses and accept them. That is healthy self-esteem. And I believe that we definitely can exercise all those different points. We can use them in our life, and maybe the benefit to us would be, I mean, high. And low self-esteem, there are so many indicators of low self-esteem. You may believe that others are better than you, may find expressing your needs difficult. It is almost opposite to of what we discussed for positive self-esteem. And you mostly focus on your weaknesses. You may frequently experience fear, self-doubt, and worry. And you may have a negative outlook on life, and feel a lack of control, that life is going out of your hands. So there are so many negative indicators, and you may struggle with confidence. You don't have confidence. It is possible. I mean, some people may have some of those characteristics, or they may have those things in them, and but with different strategies, definitely we can, I mean, improve our low self-esteem, and go into the category of high, or you can say better, in terms of self-esteem. Low esteem has the potential to lead to a variety of mental health disorders, including anxiety disorders and depressive disorders. You may also find it difficult to pursue your goals and maintain healthy relationships. Having low self-esteem can significantly impact your quality of life and increase your risk for experiencing suicidal thoughts. Yes, low self-esteem, when it uh, uh, reaches a certain level, it definitely is harmful. But there are so many strategies available. Some of them are which you can try alone. For example, physical exercise. If you go for exercises, your low esteem, self esteem that is low, it can improve. And there are certain medicines as well, and there are certain ways of behavior, social. You, I mean, you change your norms and of behaving with the people. Uh, we say that we people must have heard that we are what we think we are. I mean, it is, if we think we are brave, if we think we are positive people, if we think that we have high self-esteem, with this thinking, it changes your body processes as well, because body and mind, they impact each other. And if we have concept of low esteem in our mind, brain, it is working. Definitely, our behavior is an extension of our thinking. So we definitely go for that sort of behavior, which we think is part of our personality. But if we think we are we are a normal human being, and we are brave, and we are intelligent, and we are socially, uh, I mean, acceptable, with the passage of time, if you practice those things, uh, those will definitely become part of your personality. Another thing which I understand, not from my studies, but there is a philosophy, critical realism, uh, which says that all the social phenomenon, they can't be measured directly, but they have their indications. We look at the indications, their indicators, and manifestation. Those phenomenon are manifested through different ways. If we change the manifestations, we change the social phenomenon. For example, we can't look at the culture. I say this is Pakistani culture. So we can't measure it, I mean, with takdi pakad ke ya koi gaz pakad ke. There are some manifestations of cultures. Culture is a social phenomenon which all of us together generate. I mean, it is a product of interaction of all the people who live here. That is our culture. So that is studied through its manifestations. Manifestations in terms of, you can say, the clothes we wear, the language we speak, or the others, our rituals which we have here. So all those things, we can look at them, but we can look at the culture as such, because all social phenomena, they have their you can say, uh, different manifestation, you can say, और जिस तरीके से वो नज़र आते हैं, उस किसी से हम उनको पहचानते हैं कि ये एक पाकिस्तानी कल्चर है, और ये इंडियन कल्चर है, और ये इंग्लिश कल्चर है। तो वो कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं उनकी जो इंडिकेटर्स होते हैं। तो इसी तरीके से पर्सनैलिटी हमारी जो है, उसको हम ये नहीं कहते कि ये जो है ये लेस सेल्फ एस्टीम है, ये मोर सेल्फ एस्टीम है। उनके इंडिकेटर्स हैं जिनकी बेसिस पे हम किसी को लेबल करते हैं। तो indicators are easier to change. For example, today I am wearing shalwar kameez. It is Urdu culture, or you can say Pakistani culture. But if tomorrow I keep on dressing in pant and shirt, or in pant and coat, from the outside, I will people would say that I am adherent to British or English culture, because your clothes are one indicator of your culture. So just by changing the manifestations, you can have some influence on your personality as well. For example, I am very quiet person. People would say that यार वो बिल्कुल चुप है, लेकिन अगर आज by intention with the planning start speaking more, तो लोग कहेंगे यार बड़ा ओपन हो गया है। तो ये है कि personality can be changed, not to that extent, I'm not saying it would altogether change, but we can make some effort and change the manifestation। जिस तरह के आप बनना चाह रहे हैं उस तरह का behave करें। अगर आप उस तरह का behave करते हैं intentionally, that would become part of your personality। So ये जो excessive self esteem है, it is overly high esteem is often mislabeled as narcissism. However, there are some distinct traits that differentiate these terms। कि narcissism और high self esteem के दरमियान एक distinction है, एक फ़र्क है। narcissism में ये है कि they believe that they are बहुत सोशल हैं या बहुत उनकी सेल्फ एस्टीम है, लेकिन they keep on changing. Sometimes they have low self esteem and sometimes they have high self esteem. So they are not stable as the people who are actually having high self esteem. तो इनमें वो चेंज आती रहती है जो नार्सिसिस्टिक होते हैं, but their high or low is unstable, constantly shifting. Any comment? Excessive self-esteem people, they may be preoccupied with being perfect all the time, perfect, that they won't do anything normal unless it is perfect. So that is excessive self-esteem, and I believe that that is a problem as well. It is not very normal. We all need to become human beings, and may focus on always being right, may believe they cannot fail, may believe they are more skilled than anybody else, may express big ideas, may grossly over estimate skills। जो अपनी जो बहुत बड़ा जिसे पंजाबी या उर्दू फन्ने खान कहते हैं, वो इस तरह का जो है सेल्फ एस्टीम उनकी एक्सेसिव हो सकती है, एंड दैट्स नॉट वेरी नॉर्मल बिहेवियर। And self-confidence is defined as a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, judgment. It is important to your health and psychological well-being. So self-confidence, it's a very common term, and it is when you believe that you can do what you want to do, or that you have the sufficient competence, sufficient knowledge and skills to live your life, and that is the confidence, and it is important, and we must cultivate this you can say behavior if we feel that we are deficient in some way. uh, and there are some characteristics of confidence. They celebrate other people's success. These are indicators of successful or confident people. They are not, I mean, uh, you can say कि उनके उनसे जलते नहीं हैं। अगर किसी के सामने आया है कि कोई बंदा कामयाब हुआ है, तो they would celebrate that. So that is one indicator of your self confidence. And they remain open-minded, think positively, willing to take risks, able to laugh at themselves। ये बहुत कम लोग देखे हैं कि जो अपनी गलतियों पे खुद हंस रहे हों, and that is a good sign। And they are decisive, not wavering, ये काम करना है कि नहीं करना। When they make a decision, uh, they make a decision based on some evidence, on some logic, but once they take a decision, they may take some time for decision making, but once they make it, then they stick to their decisions. Always learning and growing. Uh, I mean, they are learning from their own experiences and people's experiences, and they admit mistakes. If people among you have these qualities or these indicators, it means you are confident, self-confident, and accept responsibility. I've seen people well-meaning, but they don't take any responsibility for anything. But uh, confident people, they tend to take accept responsibility. When we look at these indicators, it's not necessary that they would be doing it 100% of the times. Maybe sometimes they do it and sometimes not, but their general trend is having these behaving in this certain way. Sometimes they may not do something which is listed here, but we look at the general pattern, not at the individual things. Ways to build confidence. It's very important. How do we build confidence? And my first suggestion is uh, the things which we have already in the above slide. We uh, have listed certain things. If we start behaving in that way, it means we just follow the behavior, or even if you don't have that tendency now, but if you follow those behaviors which are listed as behaviors of the confident people, after some time, if you are consistent, you will also be labeled as a confident person, because people look at your behaviors. They don't look at your inner side. So looking at your behavior, they would say that person is a confident person. So it is actually the action, not the intention, which matters for people. Your discussion point is the characteristics, practices being shared with you. The discussion overall we have done. How hard or easy do you find them to adopt as a judge, and why? Whatever we have discussed until now, do you think some of the things are understandable? You agree with them? And do you think some of the suggestions which have been floated here, okay, if you want to make a change, do this. Are those suggestions acceptable to you, or do you agree with them or not? So please uh, give your views.
सर इट वाज रियली वेरी मच एक्सीलेंट, क्योंकि बहुत से एस्पेक्ट ऐसे थे जिसके बारे में हम समझते थे और हमारा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कोई डिफरेंट था, लेकिन आपने समझा। इट वाज रियली एक्सीलेंट, बहुत से एस्पेक्ट बहुत क्लियर हो गए।
What I said at one point was that people are not concerned about intent or what you are from inside. People are concerned about or make their judgments about you or society in general from the things which are manifested, which are shown to the people, which they meet from you or get from you. So is it uh, the manifestation of a certain phenomenon which matters? तो उसकी निशानियां जो हैं, या किस तरीके से वो आता है सामने, या वो फिनोमिनन इटसेल्फ जो है वो इम्पॉर्टेंट है। मसलन अगर एक बंदे से आप मिल रहे हैं, तो बंदा जैसा भी है नज़र आता है, इट डजंट मैटर, इट मैटर्स हाउ डज ही बिहेव विद यू। सो क्या हम जो विजिबल चीज़ें हैं वो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट हैं, या उसका इनर साइड इम्पोर्टेंट है एज ए सोसाइटी? Let me explain this assignment which is displayed on the screen. You access the course portal, and go to the assignment section, fill in the assignment form information and submit. An assignment is list at least 10 sources of your motivation. So what are 10 different things or variables or things which is impacting, which are impacting your level of motivation, which increases or decrease your motivation. So you have to list them, and that's your assignment. So once you identify them, then you can increase them or change them, because the first important thing is to identify a source, and then second thing is how to handle that or improve in your situation.
Thank you, Ejaz Saab, for such a nice and enlightened session on this topic, on this uh, very insightful topic, I must say. Or I believe it is going to be very helpful for all our participants here. I thank you again for your valuable time and your support for delivering this to us. बाकी जैसे मैंने कहा तमाम पार्टिसिपेंट्स से कि ये असाइनमेंट आपकी अवेलेबल हैं पोर्टल पे नेक्स्ट जो आपका सेशन है उससे पहले यू नीड टू एक्सेस द पोर्टल और असाइनमेंट फॉर्म को आपने एज प्रोवाइडेड गाइडलाइंस के फिल इन करना है और सबमिट करना है एज एजाज साहब ऑल्सो मैंशन. So thank you very much. Thank you, Ejaz Saab. Thank you, Muaz. Uh, the rest of the team from Ziauddin University, from Global Neighborhood Media Innovation. Thank you all. इंशाल्लाह फिर हमारी कल मुलाकात होगी. Sir, any last words from you?
Thank you very much for having me here and giving so much of time, and I appreciate your patience.